Everybody's Doom here from Dungeons and Doom Biscuit, and I didn't do the backside because I didn't see the point, but I did plank up the rest of this, what do you call this thing, windmill. So what I want to do is I just want to add some interesting kind of spots to it to make it a little more exciting. And to do that, I'm just going to get some planks, and I'm using just popsicle sticks. Sorry, man, I can't breathe. It's been like a year since I was able to breathe. I'm just going to snip this flush. And this one too. I'm going to flip this on its side. I'm going to do something similar there. All I'm doing is just using that as a kind of guide to where that goes. Just like that. Nothing too fancy. I'm going to snip those off on the backs. And that's going to give it just a little bit extra detail to make it look a little cooler. Something like that. And then we can do it up here too, actually, and make it look cool. And that'll also give us a little bit of a sturdier base for this top part. And again, I'm not worried about the back. Just simply not worried about it. There we go. And that's going to make it look a little sturdier and better. I think it would look nice if it had something in the middle there going down, but I don't think it needs it. And then we obviously have to figure out the door situation still. So up top here, too easy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get a piece of straw. And I'm going to get 2 blocks. And I need something kind of like a platform to put underneath there. So what I'm going to do to make my platform is I'm just going to cut 2 of these. And they should be about the same size, I'm hoping. Yeah, they're close. All right, so I'm just going to get a dab of glue. Stick my first one down. Get it in place, centered the best I can. And I'm going to get my next one. Do something similar. Get it down in place. I'm going to get both of those here. And I'm just going to get those a little bit there and on the bottom and center those the best I can off of that. And I'm going to do the same thing again. Okay, then I'm just going to put a tiny dab of glue here down the middle. Stick that on there, just like that. I'm going to get another little dab right up here. I'm going to stick this piece in there. Bring it out. Then I'm going to cut one more, about the same size as that. roughly. Oops, see if that's the same size or not. And it is. Okay, cool. And it worked out just perfectly that it makes it flush across the top. We need more hot glue there. There we go. Okay. Something like that will work nicely. And then if we want to dress that up a little bit, we could. The best way to dress that up, I would say, would be like to get a piece of cardstock. Something like that. I don't know if you really need to do that, though. Well, you could. I don't know what benefit it would really bring, but let's try it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this in half. I'm going to try to cut a little bit of a straw hole into it. Okay. I'm going to get glue. Just like that. I'm going to glue this. I'm going to fold that back too. Okay. Just like that. Then I'm just going to snip those pieces excess off. Just like it. I'm going to dress that front end up. Now that back end there, I'm going to leave that how it is. So now we need something to use as our post. So I'm going to dig in my wood box. I'm just going to grab a piece of whatever you call this thing. Barbecue skewer. And something like that. My plan is that I have something on the back that I can turn this. That's a little bit, let me see if I have something a little bit bigger that fits that a little better. I'm tripping on shit. All right, let's see. What's this? Does that fit? Oh, that's even better. Okay, this is just a piece of cheapy dowel from like Michael's or something, but I think this will be better. All right, let's get rid of this stuff. All right. So what is the best thing to use for the fans or the blades or whatever you want to call them? I don't know. I'm thinking if I have some granite grating laying around. Yep, I do. All right, we need something to do with our blades. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some granite grating. And I'm going to cut some 1-inch panels with that. And they don't have to be perfect. But 1-inch-ish should be fine. Okay, granny grating is sick. is super useful. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut all my granny gratings. Granny gratings about the same length. I'm just cutting off all this little crud on the bottoms there. Like that. And we know we don't want to go too far down, so we want to measure kind of where that would be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick right here as a good spot where my finger is. So I'm going to cut that off. And just double check that it's not too far down. Okay. So that would hit the door. So I'm just going to take a little bit more off. And then we'll just take these and do the same thing across all of them. Make them the same length. Nope, wrong way. Here we go. All right, so we already have some nice pieces here that I made as planks that we can just kind of glue onto these to make them a frame for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get I'm going to roughly try to get it just like that. Shit. Okay, my glue gun turned off. No problem. All right, let me get some sticks. Let's see how long they are. Okay. Oh, what do I got in here? Do I got anything small? I am out of coffee stirrers, I think. Yeah, I'm out of coffee stirrers, pretty much. There's like a couple scraps. Okay. We're out of coffee stirrers. That's not a problem though. So what I'm going to do is my glue gun heating back up. Yeah, it's heating back up. All right. We need something to be like the central spindle that these are all stuck to, right? So we got options. You can use a miniature base or some buttons. I'm going to use a poker chip. I think that'll be a good idea. Okay. So to get myself going, I'm going to make sure this is longer than 2 of these for sure. Okay, it's not quite long enough. Let's get something like this and make sure it's kind of straight. Snip off your point. And let's see if we can make that work. Yeah, I think that's going to work. So what we want to do is we want to get a line across the middle here and center that on it the best we can. Something like that. This one wasn't much shorter, I don't think. It's a little bit shorter. All right, we're going to do the same thing again. And then we want to kind of cut this one in half. And to do that, we can just easily see how long it is. 11 inches, so 5.5 inches. And you just want to kind of do that. Get it on there at a 90. If you're not sure about eyeballing a 90, it's easy. Just grab your square or the edge of a block or whatever you have that's square and use that to get your square. Now, once you got that in place, you're going to need something else to cap this. I'm going to use a button. I'm going to use that button because it looks like it's about the right size. And look at that, it is. Okay. Once you get that down, just let it kind of cool for a minute. Sweet. So now let's go back and work on our veins, or whatever you call these parts that come off. And I lost them all. That's not one of them. I have 3 and I need 4. Where's the 4th one? Is that it? Okay, I got 4 here. All right, so to do the veins, just like I was saying before, we're going to come here. We're going to stick that down. And we're going to go up to the edge with it, right there like that. And we're just going to snip off the excess, like that. We're going to make 4 of those. And they don't have to be perfect. Ballpark will be sufficient. I already had these long planks cut, so that worked out nice. I got a buddy who's a gun owner whose wife hates guns. Dude, let me tell you, that is terrible. Like, if you're a motorcycle guy and your wife hates motorcycles, or you're a gun guy and your wife hates guns, that's terrible. There's no way to ever have harmony in that discussion when 2 people are completely opposed on it and you're married already. Like, if you're not married already, you can be like, well, all right, well, we're just not that compatible. But if you don't realize it, or it doesn't become an issue till after you're married, and it never came up for whatever reason, that's where you get into crazy shit. Okay. I would like to, I don't want to add too much weight, so I'm not going to use that. I would like to mount the spindle part here, but because I want it to be sturdy, and I want it to never come off, I need something to use as like a something to pivot this in. So a bead would be what I would normally use, but I don't think I have a bead with that big of an opening. But we're going to check real quick, because I don't know how big these plastic beads are. They might fit over that. That would be ideal if it could. Oh, it's snug. But okay, that might work. Once you get that good and centered, get some super glue. And some baking soda. Yeah, right? Baking soda. Who would have thought? Somebody on Discord mounted something to a base, and I said, what'd you use to mount it? I was praying they said baking soda and super glue, and they did, and I was so pleased with myself. I was like, ah, there you go. Now you know the bonding agents of the great divines. It's passed on to me by nobody. All right, let's see how we're lined up at this point. Okay. All right, we're going to need something on there to stop that from sliding in too far. So let's mark where that goes. And let's get something on there. And I think we could probably just use a piece of this. So I'm going to curl it by squeezing it and dragging it so it has a natural curve to it. Okay. I'm going to get a tiny dab of glue. get it started. I'm going to let that sit for a moment and cool. Then I'm going to start wrapping it around. Then once I get it about that far, I'm going to just roll it into place so it's sturdy and stays. Once I run out of glue, like that, I'm going to snip it off. I'm going to peel any of that loose glue there away. Okay, then I'm going to snip this outside here too. I'm going to use my little snippers for this. Okay, something like that. I'm going to get a little bit of my lighter, or my minor burning hand spell. And then I'm just going to kind of strengthen that up a little bit. Okay. All right, let's place it back in there and see if that's gonna be good. All right, cool. It is gonna be good. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be sturdy. Now we need something to put on the back to hold that in place, but let's wait. Let's get these veins on. So the front of the veins are gonna be those. So what we wanna do is we wanna mount them like that all the way around. So let's start here, and let's just get a little bit there to tack it and get it where we want it. And then we'll come back and we'll sturdy it up. So to tack it, we want to come here. We're going to go to the edge of the vein, the edge of the cross beam, and we want to get it in place just like that, okay? And you want to get something like that, okay? And you want to make sure it's not going to move. Get it where you want it, where it's flat and good. And then I'm just going to kind of smear that down and get it down in there pretty good, okay? And it's going to look something like that when it's done. It's going to be pretty sturdy, I'm thinking. But at the end, we're going to put a little bit of glue on all these too. Oh, now this next one has to be like that, okay? And really, they're actually kind of twisted outward like that, but we didn't do that. So let's get a little bit of glue here, a little bit of glue there. Let's get it in place. And just give it a second to kind of cool so it'll hold. And I did not do a good job there. Oh, it did not hold. Okay. So I've just run some glue right down the side of the whole plastic piece here, hoping that I can kind of get it to stick a little better than I did. Okay, and we'll just hold that in place and let it cool. And that becomes its permanent home. And then I'm just going to do the same thing. Get that glue going down and kind of melt it and sturdy that up. And we'll do that a couple more times until we get it all done. My gun turned off. Okay. Same thing. And one more. Okay, and we'll clean that up. Now we want to check it all, make sure it looks good and sturdy. All right, cool. It does look like it's going to do what I want. All right, cool. Now we're just going to get some glue. And just run it along there. And we're going to leave that sit for a minute. Part of me thinks that we should probably put another piece of cardboard along the outside there or something. And I think I could be right. Something like that might work. But let's let that dry. I'm going to set this in front of the fan and we'll come back to it in a second while we go look for how we're going to make that back part. That back handle part there. So the back handle, well, you know what would be really good? Let me see if I have one. The old applesauce lids that little kids have. I used to have a ton of those. That'd be ideal for this. Let me see what I got. Do you have an applesauce lid for me, sir? No, I don't see one in here. But I got a ton of parts. What's this? Alright, so here's what I found. Is an old toy car tire that happens to fit on there pretty good. So now we just need to get that set up to not slide. And I'm just going to do this again. Just like that. Make that naturally curled. Get a dab of glue. And this time I'm going to be a little more careful. Because I don't have room to play around. Okay. I'm going to strengthen that up. Get a little glue in there. Kind of make that permanent. Cool. And then, so I have a nice little handle to spin it by. I'm going to fill this with hot glue. And I'm going to drag that around in there. And I'm going to twist it to get glue all around the outside and create like a rim. See how it's kind of twisted around there on the stick? And I'm going to get that centered so it doesn't move. And I'm going to let that, make sure it's everything's squared up. Okay, now we need a door. Door's an easy fix. Oh my gosh, that does go right in front of the damn doorway. I made those way too long. Okay, well, that's fine. You'll just have to run in real quick when no one's coming. Or put the door on the side, maybe. I don't know. I mean, windmills are used for grinding grain, I think, is like their main and only kind of purpose. You know what I mean? Maybe these people we're like, oh, we have to use the minimum amount of wood to grind the most amount of grain. Because we are on a serious budget, my dudes. My dudes, this budget is for real. And I'm just going to roughly make 1.25 inches here for my door. And to make life simple, I'm going to use that line that's there as a guide. Snip that off. And I'm going to make the door about yay tall. Snip that off. And then, oh, I did not make that straight. Let me clean that up. Okay. Then I'm just going to use glue. I'm going to get a couple more of these. I'm going to force those into place. And I'm just going to cut off the excess shit. To do that, I'm just going to follow the line of the back of this and snip them off. And then that's a lot bigger than the door. So I'm going to try to see if I can carefully get that off of there. And that's good enough for my door for now. Let's get a couple straps across there to sturdy it up. My gun turned off. Let's hope I can be warm enough to maintain what I'm trying to accomplish here. You could put a door handle on there if you wanted. And you could add windows to the building if you think you need them. I don't feel like that's something that I need. Nor am I interested in putting that kind of effort into it at this point. Snipping these off. Just like that. Sweet. I'm going to lay this down. Get my door in place. Part of me wants it framed. So to do that, I'm going to cut this in half. Like this. And I'm going to do this. Just like that. And like that. I'm going to snip this shit off as flat as I can. And make it kind of a different door frame than what I normally do. Something with a little more oomph. So I'm going to snip this. I'm going to get a little glue up here. Just like that. And I make that into my door. And you know what? Let's get super fancy. Want to see some shit? What's our little handle on there real quick? Oops. That's a little bead, a very little bead. I get that minor burning hand spell. Clean up any fuzzies, spider webs, or loose parts. And make sure that stays forever. I'm going to look for the missing super glue. Oh, there it is. Oh, I got a giant splinter in my hand. I'll get that after the video. Okay. And we're just going to let that dry on there and make that its permanent home. And this will be a nice looking door for the front of our structure. So now I'm just going to get some glue. Like that. And center that the best I can. And there we go. Let me pull this up so you can get a really good look at this thing. This is pretty big. So this is it. It's nothing too extravagant, but this will be a nice, what do you call it, windmill. So I'm going to spray paint it, and then we'll come back and we'll paint this up. I have decided I need to add something else, though. I'm sorry. All right. Four popsicle sticks. And what we're going to do is we're going to run a bead down here, like that. And we're going to come to the very edge, like this. And we're going to cinch those down, because I'm worried that might not be sturdy. And my glue gun turned off again. There's a button on the side of it that I keep hitting. It's not that it's just turning off, it's that I'm turning it off. Okay. And even though I don't think just a regular, what do we call these things? Popsicle stick is the best solution here. It's definitely a quick and sturdy one. That's going to give us some opportunity to move it around a little bit and make this more permanent. Okay, that was a lot of glue at the end there. I was not going for that. Okay, there we go. Now, it should be more sturdier. Okay, I want to make sure this comes up just a little bit, and I don't have another spacer there, because now it'll hit the garage door, or the door if I make some too much room. So to be cheapy about this, to make sure it doesn't go back too far, all you gotta do is make a bead of glue and let it dry. If you need to make it too wide, go ahead. All right. I've used way too much, so I'm going to try to do a repair that's going to be a mistake. All right, let's see if I can get that pushed down a little bit. There we go. Because we don't want it to look gigantic and stupid. But we do want to fix that gap, and it did. So now it won't hit our door. All right, I'll paint this up. We'll come back. Oh, no, you need flock. All right, hold on. I know we got to be close to 45 minutes here, maybe 40, I'm not sure. I can look, what am I? 40 minutes almost. Let's get this on a base. Do I really have no lids? Oh, here's a lid. This is from a laundry detergent thing. We're going to put that on there, just like that. We're going to get some, I've used that before. I reuse shit a lot, if you haven't noticed. So I'm just going to get a little bit of Mod Podge in there, like that. And a little bit of brown paint, so I can see where I got it at. Come on, deep brown from the Dollar Tree, do what I ask. And I'm just going to use a crappy brush. Something like that. I'll mix that up pretty good. Not perfect, just pretty good. And then I'm going to come over here and drag it around the outside and push it up to the edge of the building. I'm not trying to paint it up on the edge of the building. I'm just trying to get it up around the edge. I'm just pushing it. I'm going to do the back too, even though you don't really see the back. At least I don't want them to see the back because I didn't do anything with it. I'm lazy. All right, come on now. Okay. Oh, shit. Okay. Let's get a plastic tray. And this is just simply to catch the sand. And really, just that's the only reason. And I'm just going to use some full filter sand that I had. No sense in buying something. If you have something laying around or you can find it. A lot of my sand, my other thing of sand is actually from the beach. So I figured the ocean had a lot of sand, or the lake had a lot of sand and I didn't need it. So I commandeered some for America. All right, there we go. Too easy. I'll paint it up and I'll see you in part 2. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell icon, leave a comment, all the happy crappy that makes the great spirits of the algorithm pleased. Also, check out the website, www.dungeon-swag.com, and check out our awesome miniatures there. And come check us out on Discord. There'll be links for that shit in the description. You should be able to find them there. There's a piece of splinter in there. All right, cool. All right, we'll see you next time.